Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sequoia Project podcast, episode 6. This is the podcast dedicated to talking about the ins, outs, ups, and downs of business. I nearly fucked it up again then. My name's Coby, I was on the news, and I'm joined by my co-host Dale.
If no one listened to episode 5, they're going to be like, who the hell is this bloke?
And why was he on the news?
Oh, that's good. That's well done. You got to get it in there somewhere. I'm Dale. I haven't been on the news, but I help people like Coby get on the news so that they can rub it in my face.
Exactly. That's the key takeaways from here. Today we're going to be covering a little bit about myths and whatnot that there are in business. Some things that a lot of people think you have to experience, but we didn't end up personally experiencing. So just sort of break down a little bit of myths. Dale's obviously got a lot more experience when it comes to business with coming up on 7 years now. 7 years in business?
Actually, getting close to 8. But,
getting close to 8 years in business.
In 7 years, yeah. But yeah, no, I think this is more so just a thing that now that we've kind of been in the podcast space, I don't know if this has actually happened to you, Coby, but when I've told people that we're doing this, they start to send me links of other people that do podcasts and stuff like that. And I don't usually watch a whole lot of stuff like on
people
YouTube
don't care about me as much.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, people, yeah, like it kind of like, yeah, with like this is something that I've seen, or this is someone you might be interested in listening. So they send me all these links and stuff.
That's cool though.
And it is cool because like for me, it's all new because I don't watch a lot of business podcasts or anything like that. I just do my own thing. But I'm starting to hear a lot of stuff of like, oh, if you want to be a successful business, you have to do this, or this is what you can expect. And I watch some of it and I just go, oh, I didn't experience that at all. And like, it might be what most people experience, but I didn't. So yeah, I think today I just want to kind of go through some of the stuff that I've heard and maybe some stuff that you've heard or that we think that the audience have heard, and just go, did that actually happen to us at all? Like, did we experience anything like that? Because like the first thing for me is someone sent me a link, and I'm not going to mention anyone's names or YouTube channels or anything like that. Like there's a ton of good information out there, and there's a ton of information that personally doesn't work for me, but I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just going to say some stuff I heard. And if the audience listens and goes, oh, okay, I thought you had to do that. Maybe you don't. That's all this is about. So the first thing that I heard was some dude talking about his morning routine, and his morning routine was like 2 hours long. And I was like, I didn't do any of that. So his morning routine was like, wake up, he does yoga, he does meditation, he has a cold plunge bath, and then he journals for 30 minutes. And I was like, what I did was I just woke up and got straight to work. I just knew what I had to do and I just got to work straight away.
Yeah.
That was about my morning routine. So yeah, that was like one thing that came up for me. And that's what inspired me about this session. I was just like, oh, what if people want to do business and don't want to spend 2 hours in the morning doing yoga?
I mean, the podcast is the first thing that we have for me Monday morning, and I woke up 10 minutes prior and was like
let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's I know it works for a lot of people, journaling. I tried it at some point. It wasn't for me. It didn't really seem to help me or anything like that. And I don't think something that like having such a long routine there, like I get up, have breakfast, go to work. Like I don't think having such a long-winded routine is necessary. Sure, it works for some people. They get the yoga, they get like in the mental headspace. But if it's like, it's not something you have to do 100%.
Yeah. And like that's not even the, like, whatever, like this podcast isn't one way or the other. You have to do this or you have to do that. You can do it whichever way you want. That's how we did it. We did it completely different to how everyone else would have said you should do it. So whatever works for you is fantastic. But that was the example to get us into this conversation. I think the stuff that I want, especially for the Sequoia Project, and the thing, I've told you this, but I don't think I've told many other people this, is we actually turn people away from the Sequoia Project. Like we have a ton of people that come in that, they just want to start a business to earn enough money to get a Lamborghini to go drive past their ex-girlfriend's house and give her the finger, and I do it. And, but for me, it's kind of like, all right, well, like, do you want to build a product that actually works? Like, do you want to build a product that makes your customers' lives better? And they go, I don't care. I just want to make the money so I can get the Lamborghini. And I go, all right, cool. Well, there's a limited amount of time. And that's why we have things like the group now, because my time is limited to how many people I can help. And I just go,
yeah, of course.
In that instance, I would like at least the customers that are paying you to get what they paid for. So the myths that I want to crack here, and your view might be different, but the myths that I want to crack are things that like, you have to be a worse version in some ways to be a better version in others.
Yeah,
That's kind of that's the fence that I lay on, because for me, I just don't think that's absolutely true. Sure, I can see in some instances how it might make things quicker, but I just
absolutely.
don't want people. I just don't want people to come through this Sequoia project or find this podcast or do whatever to think that you have to be a worse version in some areas to be a better version in others. So that's where kind of the things that I'm going to try and myth break in here are
Mm,
things that you might have heard, but they weren't my reality. And I'm sure there's some on your case, on your side of things that weren't your reality as well. So
yeah,
let's, have you got one that you want to kick it off with, or you want me to
I
run in?
do, and it's a big one that everyone hears, and it's going to be the fact that you have to spend money to make money.
Bingo. Oh, I love that. Go. Hit me
That
with
is
that
a
good shit.
massive myth, and I
Yes.
think I even spoke to you about it when I presented the podcast over a year ago. One of the topics that I had was talking the myths, and spending money to make money was a big one. And even when I'd speak to you and I'd be like, "Oh, I have to buy this thing so I can be able to get it there." I think it's the myth that we both experience is very much the other way around. You have to make money to be able to spend that money. If you don't have that money in your pocket after you've done it, it's not real. If there's anything that I wanted a new camera, and I spoke to you. I said, I'm going to get this new camera. And you said, do you have enough jobs to pay for this new camera? I said, nope. And I wasn't allowed to get the new camera. But I went and got, Dad said no. But I went and I got the jobs to pay for the new camera. And then I got the new camera, all of the gear that I wanted for everything. I wanted a complete decked out setup. And you said, if you can get these jobs to completely pay for it plus some, then it's basically free because you've made that money and you actually need it to, like, you're using that money to spend on that thing that you need. It's not getting a loan. It's not your personal money. It's you're making sure that you can do those things to get that money to then get the things that you need.
You've watched. That's gonna be a hit song. Get
Get
those
those
money.
money. On your rap song. Changing career paths.
No, but that's huge, dude. That is such a good one to bring up off the bat, because everyone says that and everyone thinks that. It just hasn't been my experience. Like, in terms of especially people starting out in business, and people like who have just started a business, there are going to be costs that you've never incurred before. There are
Mm,
going to be things that you've like, areas of the business or areas of the procedure of what to do next that you've never done before. So to think that you are the most qualified or the most, you have a level of intelligence around money on your first day, that you just go, oh yeah, I should just be forking out money like this. um, you're going to look back at that in 5 years time and go, oh my God, I never had to spend that money, I never had to do that thing. Because if you can figure out how to, and a lot of people say, yeah, how to make money, if you can figure out how to create money,
mhm.
then the business can support itself. And that's the most important thing, is like, if you go out and you spend 50 grand to start your business and you sell something for $5, if you have never had thousands of customers before, you ain't making that money back. You just ain't making that
No.
money back. Like, you still have to learn the lesson of how to get all those customers, but now you're in 50,000. Whereas if you go, okay, how can I create an environment where I can create this opportunity for a customer to meet me and want my thing that I'm selling for $5? If you can do that 1,000 times, 10,000 times, then the business has made that money. You have proof. I know how to get a customer. I know how to sell a thing. I know how to do. You can reinvest that money, and it's not money out of your personal savings, but it's money that's then spent with experience. And those are the two things. Spending money with no experience, spending money when you don't know how to spend money, is spending money for the sake of spending it.
Mhm.
Just because you spend money don't mean you're going to get a return. If anyone's ever listened to this, Coby knows this really well now that he's in the ad space and things like that. Just because you
Yes.
spend money on ads don't mean you're going to get money back.
No.
Okay? Yeah, hit it.
A big
Run with
thing a big thing that it's kinda, told in the ad space is, I mean, as much as gambling's bad, um, it's kinda like a gamble. You only put in what you're willing to lose, and
it.
That's
Yes.
something so much that even when I first started advertising with you, when I first presented the paid advertising space for my business, it was like, well, if you need to have the money there, you need to make the money first prior to doing it. If you don't have the money there, it's not worth spending it or anything. So I think it really comes in that big case of it's not you need to spend money to make money. You need to make money, then be able to spend it.
Yeah,
Spend it
100%.
responsibly too.
Yeah, yeah, and if you know that sounded like a government ad. We're not spend responsibly. We're not affiliated with the
Authorized by
Australian
the
government in
Australian
any way.
government.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, no, the thing is, you're 100% right, and we used to talk about this all the time, is if you don't
Yes.
understand what an asset is or what a liability is,
Mm.
spending money is a very risky thing to do in the hopes of getting it back, and I mean, I'm gonna ask you a question, I hope you say the words I want you to say.
Oh,
What is
no.
our what is our number one rule of spending money, especially as it pertains to the business and making more money?
That we only spend it if it's going to make us more money?
Well, different words, same thing. You make money on the buy.
Yeah, that's the words.
Okay. You always make money on the buy,
Mhm.
which is if you can't come back to yourself or your wife or whoever you're in business with, whatever, if you can't come back and go, if I spend this much money, I have a very high percentage of getting this money back, then you are spending money in hope. And if you're spending money in hope, you may as well go down to the casino. Your business is a casino. If you're going to run roulette, you know, say it's a
Don't
32
tempt
to
me.
1 chance. Yeah. No, we're not going down to the ponies after this. just so you know. But you make money on the buy. If you can go, if I spend this money, there is a very high percentage chance that I will make this much money back. If I spend X
Mm,
and I get Y, if that money is higher, if that number is higher than the first money, then go ahead and spend it. But if you cannot show me, if you cannot show yourself, I'm going to spend this money. This is the percentage that I get this money back. Then it's not an investment. It's a liability.
yeah.
You're literally going, I'm going to risk the money I have now for money that may or may not exist later. Bad bet, bad bet, bad bet every single time.
Mhm.
You don't have to spend money to make money, but you have to know how to make money to spend money wisely. That's a fantastic myth to start with. That's brilliant. I love that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a
Uh,
big one too.
it's huge. Every single person has heard that. And like the other thing for me is the next biggest one that I hear is that you have to sacrifice relationships to have a business. Like something one has to go one way or the other. Like you can't. And I hear some people say this. Not everyone. It's not as big as this as you have to make money. You have to spend money to make money. But people go. You have to give away things with friends and boyfriends and girlfriends and all that kind of stuff. You don't spend that much time with them. You have to give up all the time and sacrifice all those relationships to put the time into the business.
Mm,
Part of that is true, part of that's not. You have to put time into the business. You can't just snap your fingers and make passive income. You have
no.
to do step number one, which is you have to learn how to make money and then learn how to spend money to create passive income. So that's something that comes later. You are going to have to work in the business. You are going to have to put time in. Why? So when you start a business, you only have three things to spend: time, energy, and money. Some combination of that. You'll either have no money and you'll just spend time and energy, or you'll either have no energy, so you'll just spend money. It's
Mm,
whatever it is, it's some combination of those three things. So when you're building a business to say you're not going to have to put time in, you absolutely are. But you can also manage your relationships. You can also be in a relationship. You can also still be a good son and a good father, and you can be all of those things. The reason is because we are not one-dimensional beings. Like we live in a world that's 3D, which means you can't be 100% of one thing. If you were only a businessman, you would have no one else in your life and you'd do miserable. You have to have both. You have to have people in your life. You have to have experiences in life. You have to have time off. You have to be a full 360-degree person, which means if you give up all of your relationships, if you're starting a business to be happy, to have financial freedom, to do all those kinds of things,
yeah.
if you give up those other things, you are going to be worse off in the long run, and you're guaranteeing yourself that that's going to be the outcome. In my experience, I didn't have to sacrifice any of those things. My goal was to be better at business, a better son, a better boyfriend, a better all of these things at the same time.
Yeah.
What that meant for me is, yes, I would have limited time with those people, but it's about the time I did have and how I spent it. So I got better in all areas so I could make more money and have a good relationship. And my parents didn't hate me. And I didn't forget my sister's kid's birthday. all of those things together. And it comes down to something we harp on about. You're probably going to get sick of this preparation. Is I knew I only have 5 minutes in the morning to reach out to people and ask them how they're doing. What do? I have 7 different templates of, hey, mom, good morning. Hope you're having a good day. Love you. She gets the text message that says, Dale's texting me, asking me how my day is and that he loves me. That's fantastic. I have a template, a system to be a good son because I only have 2 minutes in the morning. Copy, paste, bang. Next day, copy, paste, bang. The outcome of that is she knows I'm working 100 hours a week, but I still have time to send her a message in the morning. The lesson in here is the more people know about what you do and the more you're working in that high percentage threshold, working 100-hour weeks, on calls 24/7, you're always on the phone, all those things that people associate with bad. When you do something good in that area, it equates for 80% more. If you're sitting around doing nothing all day and you text your mom, it's like, great. Okay, Dale's text me. It's fantastic. If she knows Dale has 500 phone calls to make today and he still made time for me, that thing goes through the roof. So it's about knowing what levers to pull and how to get the most out of it. If you can do small things and still be a great boyfriend, still be a great son, still be a great friend, whatever, you don't have to give up one for the other. You can work your ass off. And if everyone knows you're working your ass off, when you do those little things, you remember their birthday, you put it in your calendar to remind you today's Coby's birthday, little things like that. You can still have good relationships. My relationships with my friends, my parents, my girlfriend at the time, everything got better in business. Why? Because I hyper-focused on the things that move the needle the most. And when I would come home after working 100 hours a week, 7 days a week for 6 months, I would put my hands on the steering wheel and there'd be blood under my fingernails and they'd be all scabbed up and everything like that. And I'd put my hands on the steering wheel and I go, she never asked you to work 100 hours a week. I don't care if you're tired. She's been waiting in there all day. Smile, have fun, go inside. That little thing, tiny, tiny little measurement of a thing made the biggest difference. Because when I walked inside after 100 hours, my forearms are covered in blood from the fingers running down my hand, the blood running down my hand. She could see all that. And I still walked in with a smile and I still had enough energy to ask about her day. Those tiny things made everything fine. So
absolutely,
don't have to give one for the other.
I think, personally, I think it's made so many things better in my life. Like my best friend now is in business, and I think it's brought us a lot closer in that. And even then, both of us doing our own business, still, which you hate, somehow managed to always find time to be with each other and hang out. And like you said, how the fuck are you always together?
The messages I get, I think 20% of my chat with both of you, and I help both of you with your businesses, is you sending me pictures of you two together.
It's all we do. Look, if he can't get onto you, he's onto me. So
yeah, 100%. But see, and that's the thing. Like, you can still be a best friend. And both of you are flat out. But you can still be best friends.
So much us, like, really a hell of a lot closer. Now there's a whole new thing to bond over, and even then, there's a whole new thing that both of us can get away from and kind of experience that. Even with like my partner, I'll take her to a photo shoot and teach her some sort of stuff. She come and helped me shoot a wedding. I got her involved in that sort of stuff and gave her an opportunity to go out and be able to experience something different. And even these podcasts, she listens. She's like, oh, well, actually, you guys have made me feel like maybe I can do a little bit more than what I am doing in life. And that's great to hear, especially from someone that's so close to you, to be able to hear that the conversation that you're having just with two people is given that little bit of inspiration to be like, maybe I could run a business no matter what I'm doing in my life. Like, you guys make it seem a little bit more possible. So I think business, it's one of those things that, of course, like sometimes I'm like staying up until 3 a.m. trying to get some stuff done, and that's not great. It's not ideal. But the next day, as long as you're still showing up and you're still, like you said, you have the ways to be able to go out there, talk to your family, still make the effort. It's making an effort that's the most important thing. I think the fact that if you're not seeing those people and not making that effort to be a better person, that's kind of that's your choice. It's not business's fault.
And that's the thing. That's the biggest thing, is that, like, everyone knows you're going to be busy. You're going to start a business. You're going to, you want to be successful. You're going to have to dedicate a ton of time, energy, and stuff like that to it. But it doesn't have to come at the cost of being a good person. You can be a good person and make money. You just have to be more mindful of how you do it and where you do it. And I think, and maybe it's mainstream media as well. Like, you see people on YouTube and in the movies and stuff, and the rich guy is always the villain. He's the bad guy and things like that. I just want people to be aware that it doesn't actually have to be like that. And the more people actually that make money being a good person, the
Mm,
more that will become mainstream. And you'll see people out there doing great stuff, and people will watch them and go, "I want to be a great person too."
absolutely.
And yeah, you can have a really big effect. Like Kobe said, like you have one person that listens to the podcast that goes, "You know what? That actually doesn't sound that hard. I could actually do this."
Yeah.
That's like that's cool as hell, man. Like that's so
You
cool to
can't. No, I'm
have that.
kidding.
And no, but and I guess the other side of that too, man. Like the myth thing, there will be people that will try and drag you down.
Yeah.
There'll be people that don't believe in you. Those people, feel free to cut those people away. Like feel
Oh,
free
yeah.
to interact with those people less. If you've got people around you, it's just like that weird thing where people they want strangers to like them, so they try really hard to like them, but then they won't like call their friend for their birthday, and it's kind of like the point I'm trying to shift here is like you can be great to the people who are great to you and be successful. You have to be just a little bit more aware of how you interact and what you do and how you do
I
it.
think that's a good thing just in life. Don't be afraid to cut people off and be
Mm,
around new people if they're not valuing you as a person, bringing you up,
mm,
supporting your goals, and you're not doing the same around them. Then are they people you want in your life? Like if there's,
mm,
I know I've had experiences of people even through business that's kind of just been like, well, you're doing nothing with your business. It's not going anywhere. You're not going to achieve anything, and it's just cut them off and go to the
mm.
new people. Like I think that's a
Yeah,
big thing just
cool.
in life in general. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think that there's no the further that you get in business, and like business can be a really lonely place as well. And I think that's why podcasts like this make it feel more obtainable and things like that, because there's
Mm,
normal people out there having conversations about it. You can be part of that conversation, but it can be a very lonely place sometimes. So as you go through business, the further you get into it, the more you will love the people that support you, and the more people that get
yeah.
around you, because you're in the trenches with them. Like you enjoy, like you said, you're like your best mate. You both starting a business, and it's like, well, we have a new level of respect for each other because we know what it takes to be here,
Yeah.
and that bonds you. And the same thing is like, people that have supported me from the get go, like man, like what I wouldn't do for these people
Oh,
is just
absolutely.
like, yeah, it's just so good because now being like in it for 7 years, it's just like there's been times where I've just been like, dude, this is all on my shoulders. And one friend reaches out and just goes, man, how's everything going? You have a chat and everything's good.
You're
You
doing
value
it for
those
so
people.
much more than just yourself now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
even like
100%.
I said to Jai, like I'm like, look, once I get like a bit of cash, like I'll just take you out for a steak dinner, or we'll go
Mm,
do this, or like even to my partner, like anything, your kind of goals, it shifts from being for yourself to
mm.
I want to retire like my dad. I want to get a house
Yes.
that I can
Yeah.
live in for the rest of my life. I want to be able to. The biggest thing for me has always been I don't want to have to keep saying no to the people I care about. And I don't
Mm,
think I've
mm,
mentioned this to you, but that's such a big thing to me that I thought about the other day. It's I don't want to keep having to say no, no, we can't go out and do this thing, or like,
mm,
no, we can't have this experience together because I can't afford it, or I
mm.
can't
I'm
like
too busy.
I'm too busy, I'm anything like that. I don't want to have to keep saying that. I think that's a really good reason to be able to keep doing this sort of stuff, or to be like, well, I've got younger siblings, and to
Mm,
miss out on an opportunity to like have family vacations with them because you have to work or you don't have the money to go
mhm.
out and that sort of stuff. It's being in it for the right reason. Like you, once you get to that point, you don't have to sacrifice so much with it.
Yeah. 100%. And like, because those people were around and those people supported you from day one, it naturally, I don't think I've spoken to anyone that naturally doesn't want to give back or help out or in
Mm,
some way, even if they don't have kids or whatever it is, or like that, they don't talk to their family. There's always, every single time, there's always like a cool, I've reached this level. What I want to do is now bring everyone else with me. I want to help everyone else. And like, that's the reason for us too. Like, we're here. Like,
yeah,
if one person, and like there's going to be people that like this and there's going to be people who don't like this, that's not really our problem. Our problem is we have a little bit of experience, and if some person listens to it and goes, oh, that actually makes my life a little bit easier, then great, then that's fantastic. But it does become about more than you. It becomes uh about almost having the back of the people that had your back from the get-go.
yeah,
And and that's the thing. There'll be people you have to cut away, and there'll be people that you don't, and the people that you don't, man, cherish them with everything you can, because if they were around when there was nothing, and they're still around when there was something, that's a pretty cool thing to go through, like with people.
mm.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's awesome. What's next on your myth list? Do you have something else there?
That got really deep. Something that I had from my side that I've experienced a lot with sort of like marketing and all that sort of stuff is you have to be a dick and push hard for your sales to start. Like
Oh,
one
dude.
sale call, you have to push them to sign up. You have to do that sort of
Mm,
stuff. I hate that. And I
mhm.
refuse to do it. The idea of coming on and being like, you have to give me your like card, you have to sign up here, you have to do all that sort of
Mm,
stuff. So many people like in business books or all that sort of stuff, they're like,
mm,
you have to push and like just get them to say yes. It doesn't matter if you ruin a few relationships by doing it. Just you
mm.
have to get them to say that yes on the first call. I hate that.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I
I'm sure
absolutely
you've
agree.
experienced that a lot too.
Oh man, our whole way that we do sales is so different to that. Like I think one of the biggest things that we go through, and like that is like, not only is it a myth, but I think it's a complete misrepresentation of what the transaction between you and the customer actually is.
100%.
Be- because what that is if someone gets off the phone and feels bad about buying something from you, you're not a businessman. You're not doing business. The way that we look at the transactions within our businesses, and what we've discussed before as well, is your job is to give the customer enough information that they can make an informed decision. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Your job is not to force them into anything. If anyone buys something from me and then regrets it, imagine the reviews and the word of mouth I'm going to get. I'm not interested in tricking one person out of $10,000 and being like, I know how to make money. You don't know how to
No.
make money. You might know how to be a bully. You might know how to make someone feel like they're less than. You might know how to play on someone's fears, but it doesn't make you a businessman. If you
Mm-hmm.
can give someone all of the logical, rational reasons for them to go, I need this product. This is the product I've been waiting for, and buy it and feel good about it. Now you're in business. And
Yeah.
that's like our whole checklist for sales in any direction is, if we can make someone feel like they are a part of this thing, if we can make someone feel like this is good, a good decision for them because they
Yeah.
know they have the information, that is sales. That is how you make a sale. And you can make it and you can feel good about it. And you don't have to tell someone that they're an idiot if they don't buy this, nothing like that. But that is a huge myth. And I think a misrepresentation of sales. And I think it could even be a reason why a lot of people don't get into sales, or a lot of
Yeah,
people don't,
absolutely.
like, they shy away from sales because they think that's the only way to get results. I can tell you, we can both tell you right now, categorically, it's not. You can make great relationships and great sales based on just understanding your customer. If your customer could do the thing they're buying from you themselves, they wouldn't need you.
No.
So if they need that service or they need that product or a version of that product, if you know your stuff good enough and you can communicate it in a way that makes sense to them, they can make a decision. If they say no to you, that's great. Your information either wasn't good enough or they weren't the right fit for the product in the first place, which means you
Mm.
shouldn't be forcing them to buy it. But if your information is good and they understand and they choose to buy, everyone's happy. You give them a good service, they refer their friends, everything's fantastic. But that's
If you
huge.
have
You don't
just
have
like
to
a
be.
good product and know how to just have that conversation, chances are it's going to sell itself anyway.
100%.
You're just
100%.
that driving point to try and get them over to the edge with that little bit more knowledge so that they can decide, like you said, they can make that informed decision on their own.
I don't. If I genuinely don't have any problems with someone saying, I think I need this result, and me saying, I've got the product for you. If they go, wait on, I've got all the information, this isn't right for me, fantastic. I don't
Yeah.
want to sell something to someone who doesn't need that thing. I'm just taking their money. And I didn't get in business to be a thief or a huckster or a bully or anything like that. I just like going, I have something very good. I know how to deliver it to you. I can do it. It's guaranteed. If you want it, here's the information. If the customer says, I like the information, that all makes sense to me and pays me, I feel good, they feel good, transaction made.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Yeah, you don't have to be a dick to make sales, and you don't have to, try and bulldoze everyone and all that kind of stuff. You can just be a good person and make sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you genuinely care too, that's a very good point. And I've actually got good feedback on
Absolutely.
your story from the Hometown Heroes segment that we did, like where we were
Yeah.
talking about that on, like, I think it was episode 2 or something. People were like, I just think that's awesome that he genuinely cared. If you genuinely care about your customer, it makes such a big difference because they actually understand you're not trying to rip them off. You're not trying to just take their money. You're not trying
Yeah.
to be a quote unquote salesman. You actually give a shit. I've told people that their product isn't, I've actually told people my product isn't right for them before and referred to them where they should go. That has got me more business than forcing stuff down people's throat.
Yeah. just care about the people that you're selling to. It's crazy. Like the amount of people that I've had to speak to be like, maybe the fact that they're not like even the price point, if it's not for
Mm.
them, it's like, well, maybe this isn't a certain service that you should have at the moment. Maybe later down the track, try something like this out first,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then
for
get to
sure.
that.
Yeah, we've had people who come through the Sequoia project that have said that they don't have enough money to do like a 2 month or a 3 month thing to get their business started running and making profit. And I've said to them, well, why don't you go and get why don't we just work on how to get 5 customers first, and
Yeah,
then you'll be at a point in your business where, one, you can afford that, but two, you actually know how to get customers. Like, let's not try and solve everything. Let's not try and spend all the money. Let's just get to a point where you're comfortable and you go, oh, I actually know what I'm doing, or I've actually experienced this a little bit, and in not selling them a thing
no,
that they thought they wanted, and actually knowing what they wanted or knowing what they needed in the thing in the moment, it makes it so much more organic to be like, oh, okay, well, if I want, and like same thing with you. I don't know how long I helped you out. We didn't fucking talk about payment or invoice or anything like that for
no,
ages, and then it was a thing where I was like, when you get to a point in your business where you're like, oh, I've got 500 customers and I need to know how to manage them and I need systems. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to the guy that helped you, the guy that actually cared about you before any of that happened, and
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
biggest difference for me. Yeah,
Well,
if you can establish that trust, then you're doing good business.
it was really strong with us, even when like we had our initial offer, and then you were like, look, we'll do this amount, but once you hit this point in your business, then we can take this step. It
Mm.
wasn't like it was like, all right, pay me this much and then we'll get you to that point. It was, if
Yeah,
you can
let's get
hit
there
this
first.
point, let's go from
Mhm.
there and see where we're
Yeah,
gonna go.
100%. Yeah, and that's just the thing. It's like there's no reason to, and I see people now. They have a high ticket offer and they promise the world, they don't deliver, and they trick 10 people into buying this thing,
Yeah.
and then they go and rent a Lamborghini for the day and take more photos and say, I know how to make money. I'll teach you how to make money. And it's kind of like, well, just tricking 10 people isn't knowing how to make money. It's
No.
knowing how to trick 10 people. So I think if you can keep a transaction to a point where everybody wins, we love that win-win-win stuff. Oh man, I could talk all day about that. If you can get to a point where everyone's like, this is a fantastic deal, we should be doing this, business feels good. And when business feels good, you want to do
100%.
more of it.
Yeah.
If I look myself in the mirror at the end of the day and go, I'm happy with what I'm doing, then you're doing good business.
Mm,
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, a key couple of really good points there. Some big myths kind of busted up. But yeah, if you are sitting around, and we're right on time here, so we'll try and wrap it up and keep these things towards half an hour. But I think if you are sitting there and you go, I like the idea of business, but I don't want to give up my relationships. People have told me I need to drop a ton of people. People have told me that you have to spend money, make money. I don't have any money. People have told you that you have to be an asshole to sell something. We're here to tell you it doesn't have to be like that.
They're
And just
myths
that's
for a
because
reason.
they're missed for a reason, and just because that's common conception, it doesn't mean that that's how it has to be.
No.
I hate the saying, "It is the way it is." Just because it's the way it is right now does not mean it's the way it has to be. Okay, we are people who create stuff. We bring stuff into the world to try and make it a better place. We try and bring things like the Sequoia Project, CE Media. We try and like hometown heroes, all that kind of stuff, because we just want the world to be a little bit better than when we left, than when we found it. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can bring that part into your business, it doesn't have to be the way it has been in the past. Our job is to make it different. Our job is to make it more exciting. Our job is to make it, to bring something to the world doesn't have. And that's why business is such a cool vehicle, is because you can be yourself. You can bring your personality into the world in such a way that it allows the next person to do the same. And that's really fantastic. It just makes the world more fun, more vibrant, more dynamic. And that's what humanity is all about. It's about evolution, standing on the shoulders of the people that came before you. Someone brings an idea in, you think you can do it a little bit differently, help more people do a different thing. That's what business is all about. That's all business has to be about. It's not just about sales, money, revenue, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh man, I thought you had to make money. I thought you had to spend money to make money, all that kind of stuff. You absolutely don't. This might be something to go into on a deeper level. Probably when we actually do a fake business from scratch,
Oh,
like
so keen for
with no
that.
money down, all that kind of stuff. Probably get into this a little bit deeper. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's, don't be afraid to break some myths of your own. And if you have myths that you didn't hear today, and like we got caught up on a few of them, but if there's myths that you have in your head, challenge them. try and
Yeah,
break them.
absolutely.
I find that one of the most fun things in business. If someone says this is how it has to be done, I love to do it differently. I love to do it differently, get a different result. Break them. Then they're only thoughts in your head. They're only things that you've heard. Until there's proof, they don't exist. It ain't real.
Would love to know some of the myths that other people are hearing and everything as well. So if you guys have any, leave them
Right.
down in the comments, and we'd love to sort of see what you guys are hearing around business, especially in all your different stages that you guys are sort of seeing that it hasn't been true for you as well.
Yeah, 100%. That would be fantastic. So yeah, all the information as usual is underneath here. Jump on there. You can check it out. The TSP TSP website. Yep.
Hmm.
Um, the yeah, all the links and everything like that are underneath. If you need more information, groups there. You guys, you'll know if it's right for you. And we're even doing you can jump on a call now and ask your questions before you jump in. So it's we're just trying to bring good information. If you need anything, reach out. If you've got suggestions or thoughts or whatever it is, pop it in the comments,
Yeah, feel
and
free to
we'll
send a
clear it up
DM
and
to any of
see if we.
the socials as well.
Exactly right. Yeah, either Coby or myself will answer you in there directly. And yeah, we're just in there to answer some questions and get some more info out if we can.
Amazing, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. This is episode 6. We're getting up there.
Let's go. We're going for 7. Let's go to number 7. That's the goal.
I hope. So close, I can feel it.
Yeah, exactly right. Cool, man. All right. Well, we'll catch you catch all you guys later and in the next one. All the best. Talk soon.
Catch you guys later. Bye.